What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this week's video, I'm just going to go over some stuff that I recently purchased off of Amazon. Kind of show you guys what I got, first impressions, and maybe you guys might want to get something similar. So you can see I have all these boxes. I just opened up a bunch of these. So some of them are going to be basically my first time seeing them as well. So let's get started. I bought a couple of these sets of Sunex wrenches. We'll start here. This is the Sunex 5-piece metric double box end wrench set. So I wanted some oddball wrenches that I don't really use too often, because there are times that I've come across where I've needed them, or they could have made the job way easier if I had them. But I didn't want to spend a ton of money on buying them since I'm hardly going to use them. The Sunex brand, I have bought some of their stuff in the past. I think I have a set of their O-ring picks, and I think I have a couple of their other tools too, but I can't remember right off the hand. But what drew me to the Sunex brand on Amazon that I really liked was the price point and how these cases tell you what they are on the outside. I noticed a lot of them will only tell you the brand, or they'll just be a black case and you can't see what's going to go, what's inside. These are going to go in the bottom of my tool cart, and so I wanted them to show me what they say on them, because I'm limited on room. I don't have a big toolbox yet where I can have all my wrenches spread out, even the ones I don't use often. So I wanted something that was nice, compact, and that I could easily read and see what they are, instead of having to open up every case to find out what's in there. So starting out with the double box end set, so we got 10 and 11 on one, 12 and 14, 13 and 15, 16 and 18, 17 and 19. So you got 10 millimeter all the way to 19 millimeter. Honestly, for the price, what did this set go for? This set was $28.41 when I purchased it. The finish on it feels really nice. The corners are nice and smooth. They don't feel sharp. They don't feel cheap. The only thing that I don't really like is how it's not engraved in with the Sunex name. This will eventually, I think, rub off. But I think for the price point, you really can't go wrong with these. And honestly, I'm hardly ever going to be using them. And like I said, so spending a ton of money on a set like this just didn't make sense to me. And I think that these will last for a long time, probably my entire lifetime. So the next set here, I needed a set of stubbies. I didn't really have any stubby wrenches, and it made doing some project a pain in the ass. So I bought the Sunex 10-piece metric stubby combination wrench set. I gotta say, I really like these cases. They seem really, really durable. They don't feel like some of the other ones that I have. I don't have any easily to get to right now, but some of them just feel real cheap and feel like they're gonna rip. These cases actually feel really nice, and they look really well put together. But anyways, we got our small little 10 millimeter. I'm guessing the finish on all these is going to be very similar on all these Sunex wrenches. But again, 10 to 19. This set right here currently is going for $21.60 is what I paid for it. Again, I got every size I needed. It doesn't skip. And for the price point, I don't think you can really find a better deal on Amazon. Next is the 5-piece metric S-style wrench set. I've been looking at the S-style wrenches at Harbor Freight, the Pittsburgh ones, but they don't come with a case. And like I said, I wanted a way to organize them. That's what drew me to the Sunex, the nice cases, how organized they were. The Pittsburgh ones were cheaper, but I didn't want just a bunch of open wrenches floating around. I wanted a case, and for just a couple bucks more, I got the case with these. But 10 and 11, 12 and 13, 14 and 15, 16 and 17, 18 and 19. So there's no skips here as well. 10 through 19. But sometimes this is just going to be a wrench you need, and it's going to be nice to have. And for this set was going for $34.55. This was the most expensive one out of all of them, but I wanted to keep all the sets nice and matching. I didn't want to go with a different brand. So moving on from this, I picked up this set. As you can tell, this is a different brand. What is the name of this brand here? They're Wanliva King. I can't even pronounce that. They're a Chinese company. Like I said, it doesn't have any markings on the outside of this one. But I wanted a nice stubby ratcheting set. So once I break one loose with my other stubbies, this will be way nicer to be able to get fasteners undone that are in tight spots. This seems like a pretty nice set. They seem pretty, I've already taken them out and played with them a little bit, but the tooth count is really fine. This set was $25, which I think was a really good deal compared to the other little ratcheting wrenches I saw. So I would recommend this. Also, the case does seem pretty nice. I'm just a little disappointed that it doesn't have the writing on the outside. Moving on next, I got this Aries brand. I guess you call it a wrench extender, whatever you want to call it. But if you guys don't know, you can put this on your wrench and get more leverage with it if you're trying to break something loose. I had another one. I still have it. I'll show you right now. I had this one originally that I bought for really cheap off of Amazon. I don't even remember what brand this was. It doesn't even say it on here. It has a spot where you can put like a 1/2-inch drive breaker bar and get even more leverage. But this thing is just heavy, uncomfortable to use. It doesn't seem very well made. So I wanted something a little bit better. This is lighter than that too, and it feels way nicer. This was $40, unfortunately, but these things are very expensive to get a nice one like this, and this was the cheapest, nicest one I could find on Amazon. I'm a fan of the Aries brand. I have a bunch of their stuff. I think for the price point, they're really nice tools. But yeah, that's the Aries wrench extender. I also wanted a small, nice, compact spark plugs. This has all the sizes I need for the cars I work on. I mostly work on Toyotas. I got a 14 for my Corolla, 5/8 for my Tacoma. I have a bunch of spark plug sockets, but they were all in my toolbox. They were unorganized. I had them sitting in my my 3/8 socket holder, and they were taking up the spots for the excuse me, for the 8, 7, and the 6 in the 3/8 because I didn't have those sizes, and so I ended up getting this set and buying the 8, 7, and the 6 sockets. But all the ones I could find on Amazon and looking around, the other sets, they were either a big set in a box, or there was just They weren't magnetic. I wanted a magnetic set. I don't like the ones with the rubber O-ring in there. So this is a magnetic set. I wanted a little socket rail for it to go on to fit nice in my toolbox and be nice, organized like all my other stuff in there. So I found this Aries set with the socket rail for $22 is what I paid for this. And it fit perfect in my toolbox. I'm very happy with this set. They seem very well made. Again, unfortunately, it's just like that laser engraving on here. It's not actually engraved in the sizes and stuff, but I think for what I use them for, that they'll work fine. And if I ever do come across where I'm not happy with one of them or something, I can always just swap it out and get a better branded one. I believe in buying cheap. If you're a DIY guy, you can buy cheap and get away with it. If something happens and it breaks on you, you're not in that time crunch to have to get the job done necessarily. You can always run to the store, the auto parts store, the hardware store, and get a replacement, or order it on Amazon and get it the next day or whatever. I don't think you have to have the best of the best right away. That's the motto I live by. I try and buy somewhat cheap at the beginning. If it breaks on me, if I don't like how it works, then I will upgrade later on to something better. But if I go cheap and that thing keeps working for me, then I'll just keep using it. Up next, I wanted some thin wrenches. Again, I wanted a nice compact set. I found this E-lead set on Amazon. This set goes all the way from 5.5 to 27 millimeter. It does have, I guess it doesn't. I thought it did skip, but it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. It skips the 25 to 26. But you have the 24, the 27, 22, 23, 19, 21, 18, 20, 15, 16, 14, 17, 11, 13, 10, 12, 8, 9, and 5.5 and 7. I found myself recently needing thin wrenches, and I actually had to order this set to get a job done because none of my other wrenches would fit in the application that I needed. I didn't want to have to buy a standard and metric set of these, and I thought both would be handy. So what I did instead is I ended up ordering this as well. This is the Engineer pliers brand. Little adjustable wrench, but it's the super thin tips on here. This way I could get away with not having to order a whole nother set. I thought I would give this a try. When I ordered this, I was pretty disappointed when I pulled it out of the box. This was $18. If you guys don't know, the Engineer brand is really nice. I'm a huge fan of them. I have a set of their pliers. They own, I think they're owned by the same company as Van Pliers. I own a couple pairs of Van Pliers, and I'm real happy with that. But when I pulled these out of the box and I felt this, I was like, this felt like it came from the dollar store. I was unimpressed, but I ended up using it, and it actually held up, and I put a lot of pressure on this, and it didn't bend or anything. I don't even know where it's made. I couldn't find where it's made. I assumed that it was made in Japan because that's where the other stuff is, but on the packaging, on Amazon, on the wrench, it doesn't say anywhere where it's made. So I can't tell you that, but it seemed cheap, but as I've used it, it's held up a lot better than I expected it to. I expected to break it the first time I used it. But going back to this, what I thought was real cool about these E-lead ones is they have like almost like this black finish on them. They're way darker than like a chrome wrench. But we'll see how these hold up. You don't really put too much pressure on a thin wrench like this. So I think that these will last a long time. I went with this brand because I really like this case design. It's super compact. It folds up real nice. And yeah, you can see how small that is. It's real nice. Let's see what I'm missing here. Oh, so there is two more things. I forgot to take them out of the box. I've already put them in the box. I ordered these a couple weeks ago, but I thought I would include them in this video. So the first ones are these mini snap ring pliers. I saw these on a couple other YouTube channels that people were talking about. These are awesome for the price. Sometimes my big set of snap ring pliers just are way too cumbersome for trying to get in tight spots. And this set right here, this 4-piece set, was only $10 on Amazon. I mean, you really can't beat that. They seem pretty well made. But yeah, I saw a bunch of videos where people were recommending these, so I couldn't pass up on the price. And I definitely recommend using these. I've used them a couple times now since I've had them for a couple little things, and they've worked great. The last item I got was this jeweler's like duckbill pliers. I wanted a small set of duckbill pliers for being able to grab and flatten something out, and instead of using like needle nose where it'll almost like crease the metal, I wanted something nice and flat to be able to bend. I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on a pair of pliers. These were $10, and I wish I would have just spent the money and got a different set. They're spring loaded, but these are extremely cheap. They don't feel good, but I think for what I'm going to use them for, it's going to be okay. They do line up very nicely. These are the Minular is the brand name. The brand name on these is Vector. I forgot to tell you that on the snap rings. Minular, I'm guessing that these are just, I'm guessing they make a bunch of these and people brand them as their own, but we'll see how they hold up. The finish is not very nice. They're very sharp on the edges. But for $10, I think they'll get the job done for what I'm going to use them for. I want to hear what you guys, brands on Amazon that you guys have tried. I've tried a couple different ones. I believe it's like the Horsey brand of wrenches I've had for a while. I have some of the other E-Lead stuff down there too, some other E-Lead wrenches. What brands do you like on Amazon? Which ones have you had success with? Which ones do you think are the best bang for the buck? I'd like to hear that down below. Maybe if you guys have any experience with any of this stuff that I've shown here, let me know what you guys think on these products. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I'm glad I was able to share all these tools with you, and I will see you next week for another video.